Have you ever seen the moment a shadow disappears, not because the sun has moved, but because something else has taken it? In a quiet land where purple moors met towering mountains and the wind carried the scent of wild thyme, there lived 3 strong brothers and their sister, Burd Helen, whose laughter could light the darkest day. They were inseparable, tumbling through tall grass, chasing each other along winding streams, and daring the churchyard crows to take flight with their shouts. One golden afternoon, the 4 of them were playing ball near the old church, whose stone walls had weathered more winters than anyone could count. Childe Rowland, the youngest, kicked the ball so hard it soared over the roof, vanishing beyond the crumbling wall. Helen, quick as the wind, ran after it, her feet tracing the path around the church in the wrong direction. The old people called it going widdershins, against the sun's path, and they whispered warnings about that, because that's when the fairies watch. She never came back. At first, the brothers laughed, thinking she was hiding. Then they called her name. They searched the hills, the meadows, the stream banks. But Helen was gone, as if she had stepped into the air itself and vanished. Desperate, the eldest brother went to Merlin, the great wizard who saw beyond what others could see. Merlin's voice was steady but grim. She ran widdershins. The fairies stole her shadow. She is prisoner in the dark tower of the king of Elfland. Only the boldest heart may bring her home. The eldest swore he would go. Merlin gave him 2 rules. Speak to no one in Elfland without striking off their head, and eat or drink nothing there, or you will never return. Sword in hand, the eldest went, and never returned. The second brother tried. He too vanished. Only Childe Rowland was left, the youngest, Helen's favorite, the one she had always called her little hero. He begged his mother to let him go. Her eyes shone with fear and pride as she placed his father's sword in his hands, the blade that never struck in vain, and wished him victory. Merlin repeated the rules, and Rowland set out. He journeyed for days, over hills like sleeping giants, through forests where green shadows whispered, across rivers shining like molten glass. At last, the land began to change. The grass grew dark and thick, the sky hung low and coppery, and a herd of horses with fiery eyes pawed the ground. Rowland knew then he had crossed into Elfland. A horse herd watched him approach. "I seek the Dark Tower," Rowland said. The herdmaster told him to go farther on, but Rowland remembered Merlin's warning. His sword flashed, one blow, and the horse herd fell. Next came a cowherd. Same question, same answer, same fate. Then he met a henwife feeding fowls with feathers like molten gold and eyes like rubies. Her smile was as smooth as honey. "Go to the green hill with 3 rings," she told him. "Walk around it widdershins 3 times, speaking the charm at each circle. The door will open." Rowland almost thanked her, but he didn't. When at last he found the hill, the wind coiled around it like a living thing. He circled once, twice, 3 times, murmuring the old words. On the last step, the hill groaned, and a dark doorway yawned open. Inside, twilight glimmered, not darkness, but a dreamy light that turned the stone walls to sparkling crystal. The air was cool, heavy with the scent of something sweet and strange. He passed under archways tall as oaks, through endless winding halls, until he came to 2 massive doors that swung open at his touch. A great golden hall stretched before him. Pillars wrapped in jeweled flowers climbed toward a ceiling painted like the night sky. At its heart hung a single lamp, a giant pearl cradling a ruby that spun slowly, spilling warm light over everything. On a couch of gold at the far end sat Burd Helen, combing her long hair. The comb glittered, but her face was pale and distant, her eyes clouded as though she were half asleep. "God pity you, poor fool," she whispered. "Why have you come?" His heart leapt at the sight of her, but Merlin's warning rang in his ears. He turned his gaze, lifted his father's sword, and struck, not at her, but at the magic binding her. The air cracked like thunder. Helen's eyes cleared. Color rushed back to her cheeks. She ran into his arms, trembling and laughing all at once. "Oh, Rowland, you shouldn't have come. You could be trapped forever." "Not until you're home," he said, holding her tight. They spoke in hushed voices. She told him how the fairies had stolen her shadow, how their brothers had tried and failed, how the king of Elfland's power kept them all captive. Rowland told her of his journey, his sword, and his promise to bring her back. Then, as they spoke, a smell drifted in. Warm bread, fresh milk. His stomach twisted with hunger. Helen's eyes widened in warning, but she could only place a golden bowl in his hands. The magic would not let her speak the truth. He lifted the bowl and stopped. Looking into her eyes, he remembered Merlin's second rule. "No bite, no sip," he said aloud. Then he hurled the bowl to the floor, milk spilling like silver over the golden tiles. The hall shook. The great doors slammed open. The king of Elfland strode in, tall as two men, his cloak swirling like storm clouds, his eyes burning like thunder. "Fee fi fo fum! I smell the blood of a Christian man!" he roared. "Then strike if you dare!" Rowland shouted, his sword blazing in the red lamp's light. The king's magic clashed with steel. Shadows twisted into claws. Wind screamed through the hall. Sparks leapt from Rowland's blade. Helen watched, hands pressed to her heart. The fight raged until Rowland's final blow drove the king to his knees. "Spare me," the king gasped. "Free my sister, free my brothers." "Let us go home," Rowland commanded. From a chest of gold, the king drew a vial of red liquid and touched it to two sleeping figures. The brothers stirred, opened their eyes, and gasped for air. A whisper of magic, a shimmer in the air, and the four siblings stepped together through the hall, through the green hill's door, and into the sunlight. The hill closed behind them with a sigh. Their mother saw them first, running across the meadow with tears in her eyes. The church bells rang. The sky seemed brighter than it had in years. And Helen? She never walked widdershins around a church again. Because some paths lead you home, and others lead you away forever. Love, courage, and the will to remember the rules you're given, those are the keys to finding your way back. Like, comment, and subscribe for more magical tales, and tell me, if someone you loved were lost in a place no one dared go, would you find the courage to follow them?